sound great, provided that they've read the complete works of Oscar Wilde. They're not doing that.
Just a good woman, you know, somebody you're going to connect with, somebody you feel that you can create the entire life with.
Prepare for death.
I like to think that God created us because, I don't know. I don't know why God created us.
We invented football. There's probably like one guy that invented football. Look how great that is. That changed the world.
Whenever I go to the ocean and I see the water and it doesn't end, I realize it makes me feel the whole world is actually connected.
Hell, wow. Not a place I want to be.
Heaven? A nice, hot, beautiful beach.
Enjoyment, we want satisfaction.
I'm afraid of spiders.
Deep waters.
I feel there are monsters living underneath my bed.
I'm afraid of being murdered, I'm afraid of being burgled, I'm afraid of being shouted at.
You can get everything you want.
I prayed for children, and thank God I have two beautiful little girls.
Life's amazing.
Fear is an excellent thing because I believe that the fear was actually put in you as like a mechanism device.
Fear is a good thing because it exciting. And if you try and conquer your fears, you really feel like you're doing something and you're overcoming your fear.
Everybody feels something. I suppose that fear is a good thing because it's natural and normal.
Fear is good because it sometimes, you know, keeps you from hurting yourself or other people or whatever it is. And sometimes it's not good because you live scared all the time.
Fear is a bad thing because it restrains you.
Fear is bad. You can have it. When I say it's bad, to show your fear and to express your fear is bad.
Fear is a bad thing because it stops you from doing a lot of things that maybe without fear you would do and become a better person.
Fear allows us to acknowledge that we don't see the whole picture. And it shows us that we're not in control.
Fear, if you have the right quantities, it can keep you alive.
Without fear, people would be doing just about anything, and that may not be the best thing in this world.
Is fear a good thing? It's powerful, it's thrilling, it's what makes us wake up and live. So, for example, when did you pay money to be afraid? Everybody pays money to be afraid. You see Jaws or a horror picture or do a parachute jump or a roller coaster.
I paid to go to a scary movie and a scary ride.
The last time I paid to be afraid was haunted houses.
I once paid to go skydiving.
Getting up on the mountain and you know, hanging by a rope is sometimes a great thrill, and it's pretty scary.
When I went to a theme park called Wonderland, where we went on this massive roller coaster where you go up and down and you're upside down, you twirl and spin around, and your feet hang down and your arms are in the air and you're just so frightened.
I have paid to be afraid, but it's rare. I don't like scary movies or haunted houses. I get nightmares.
Actually, I like being afraid. Like, I'll put myself in like a dangerous situation, and I like going to horror movies, and I like the unknown. I like the fear factor.
You're paying money to be afraid. Why? It wakes you up. You feel alive, yeah? But besides that, you see, fear is both loss and gain, you know? If I could pay you $1 million to recount all the most wonderful times that you had in your life, yeah? But you have to come up with at least 100 really wonderful experiences you had, well, then you'd have a whole list of 100. It would take you a little while, but you know that you would manage to bring together all your powers of concentration, of attention. Somebody would talk to you, you say, shut up. Get out of my way. I got $1 million. So it's a way of bringing your powers to focus. Besides which, fear and the reason that we don't want to be afraid is it's painful. But that pain is like a guard. It's something to protect you. It's something that tells you that you're in danger. So fear makes you come to attention and watch out. You know, watch out, somebody's coming after you. Watch out, the car's coming. You're on your way, yeah?
Last time I was really scared was on the plane. I hate planes. I have no control over a plane.
I'm afraid of failure.
Personally, I fear plenty of things. I fear a lot of people, I fear animals, I fear heights.
I'm afraid of spiders.
I'm afraid of spiders.
I'm afraid of deep, dark waters, like oceans.
I'm afraid of being murdered, I'm afraid of being burgled, I'm afraid of being shouted at.
The last time I was really, really scared was when I got stuck overnight in the canyon with no food or flashlights or water or dry clothes or wild animal repellent, if there is such a thing.
I'm afraid of having to deal with that if someone close to me dies.
I'm afraid of the oceans, I'm afraid of dry land.
Last time I was afraid was, getting on an airplane. It's a kind of a scary thing nowadays.
I can honestly tell you, I don't get really scared a lot.
I'm afraid of zoos, I'm afraid of fire, I'm afraid of televisions, I'm afraid of blinding lights, I'm afraid of everything.
If people would be afraid of what's going on in this world, of terrorism, yeah, don't wait until the Twin Towers is destroyed. If they would anticipate what would happen, they would have tightened up the border lines much before this happened and maybe avoided this terrible tragedy. But right now, they're not afraid enough. Right now, they're not really taking seriously this threat of terrorism. By being afraid, then we would bring together all our powers, our mind powers, our resources, and we find a way of getting rid of it. But we just don't take it seriously until, God forbid, it's gone. The pain makes you make an effort to avoid it. What is the fear that everybody should be using all the time? The fear in Judaism, we say, the fear of death. Don't waste life. You know, if a doctor told you that you had 2 months to live, then you would be on the alert. You would be looking, what is life about? If a doctor told you in 2 weeks you won't be able to see anymore, you'd be looking around to remember everything there is, what a face looks like, what your children look like, what this beauty of sight is. You'd be focused, meaning, powerful.
If I had 2 months to live, I would work on myself, become a better person.
If I had only 2 months to live, I would spend them with my family.
I'd try to get close to my family.
I travel the world. I don't know why, but I'm in love with freedom.
Really try and spend my last few moments just bonding with the people who have really impacted my life.
Sorry, I can't answer that question. It's too much for me.
If I was told I had 2 months to live, I'd just go drinking and smoking every night, and that's all I'd really do.
If I only had 2 months to live, I think I would continue doing the same things that I'm doing today, except probably I would have more connections with other people.
Okay, so you got 70 years to live, but is it time to find out what you're living for? Of course it is. Don't wait until the last moment. That's a little late. So really, death gives us the ability to get to live fully. And it's not something that doesn't happen to us. It's not something that you're going to avoid. You're not going to avoid it. Live with it. You say, that's morbid. No. Life is precious. That's the first thing to learn. So fear is something that people think is an enemy. It's not an enemy. Fear is a tool to live with, to use, to mobilize your powers, to know how beautiful life is, and to be real about the time that you have.
People who want to be businessmen.
Somebody that's good at business, I suppose.
People who want to make money should go into business.
Who should become a businessman? Somebody who is intelligent, quick off the mark,
and slightly ruthless.
So somebody that has to be a businessman has to be extremely, extremely disciplined.
I'm involved in business. I'm a massage therapist. I work with people.
I want to start a comedy club.
I would like to be a businessman.
A businessman is someone who's smart, ambitious, interested in what they do, want to make something work, goal-oriented, and not afraid to be a bit of a thief.
You just have to have a good business sense. Some people have a head for business, and some people don't.
You can't live without business. You need money to survive, but to be honest, money doesn't mean too much to me. But it's good. Something I'd rather have than not.
Anybody that can talk a lot and, you know, it's good with people.
Who should become a businessman? The Almighty created us. We're all businessmen. We're all businessmen. We're all super big businessmen. Let me explain. You know, if we owned all of General Motors, I think that's the biggest company in the world. Yeah? If you owned all of General Motors, the whole stock, lock, stock, and barrel, the most important thing that you own is your life. Because all you use General Motors is to get some money, to get some power, to get something, to live. Really, the most important aspect of business is how you can deal with your life. Now, people are very funny. They'll spend 12 hours a day in business, and they plan it all out, and they use every moment that they can. You know, a big businessman, go and get an appointment. He doesn't have time. He's planned out everything he's going to do for the next 6 weeks, yeah? Because he's going to make money. And then they come home, you know, a small businessman comes home at 9 o'clock. A big businessman comes home 11:30, yeah? And then the rest of the night until the morning when he's in the business, it's cold turkey, it's potluck. Whatever comes up, that's what he does. Whatever he feels like doing, that's what he does.
I think people ought to become a businessman if they have good ethics of character when dealing with another human being. Because I think business is dealing with people one-on-one.
Somebody who's a personal role person, who's able to speak to people. Somebody that other people can relate well to.
It's not for everybody.
Somebody with a good head for business.
I've been in business all my life. I don't think a salesman can be made. A salesman is born.
In order to become a businessman, you definitely have to, you know, be a little bit cutthroat. You gotta not take things from people. You gotta be focused and know what you want to do.
A decent law-abiding citizen should become a businessman because that way you know what you're getting, you know it's going to be honest, everything will be fine, and you can get along well. There'll be no room for anything dodgy.
In Judaism we say, look, you have to plan your business. You got to be a businessman in your life. That means when you get home from work or when you stop working at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, that's when you should start planning. What are you going to do? Don't come home and say, what's there to do tonight? What's on television? You have any friends over? Well, maybe we'll take a walk. What am I going to do tonight? Let's play some solitaire. Kill the time, murder the time. So in Judaism we say every morning, plan your day and work your plan. Plan your day. I get up in the morning. How do you want to get up? Are you one of those guys that gets up, you know, you moan and you groan? Well, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But do it with taste. You know, make it interesting. Or would you rather get up in the morning and say, hey, it's great to be alive. Life is gorgeous. Today we're going to really, oh boy, you get the energy. You get the energy. Give yourself a pep talk. Yeah? But there's an awful lot to learn from business in every way. A small businessman, grocery store, it's open 6 o'clock every morning. You know that. You never miss it. He knows where he puts the bread up front. That's what people are buying. And the milk up front. Yeah, because that's what people want. He knows the price of every item in the store. What's your business? You know what happiness is? That should be up front. Are you using it? You know what friendship is? Whatever you got, put it up front so that you use it. A big businessman, General Motors has got a 20-year development plan. You've got 50 years to live, 20 years to live, 10 years to live. What's your development plan? Where are you going to get to? And what assets are you going to buy so that you get there? How are you going to maximize the pleasures and the meaning and the accomplishments that life is really about?
For the next 20 years, I plan to study, get a job.
I want to be a couple of things. 1, a painter, 2, a lawyer, and 3, an art therapist.
Well, I'm getting married in a year, so to have a lot of children and to be a successful teacher.
Hopefully to settle down and have a family.
My plans for the next 20 years is to be a good mother.
Maybe just, you know, having a family, I don't know.
My plan for the next 20 years is to keep on searching and keep on continue growing.
My plan, honestly, for the next 20 years is to work on myself, to grow each and every day, to move forward, to have a family, to have children.
For the next 20 years, I want to try a little bit of everything, just have a good time.
Well, plan? I don't plan ahead, really.
The money you make, that's just to teach you how to think realistically, clearly, and to the point. So we're all businessmen and living, making it count, using our assets adequately, making the highest profit that we can in life values.
True humility is getting on stage in front of 1,000 people and dancing to an ABBA song while completely sober.
Just being humble.
True humility, I think it's really always thinking about other people.
I think true humility is the ability to say that I don't know.
Not caring what other people think about you.
True humility is being married.
True humility is knowing how great you really are and then being humble.
True humility is earning enough money to live substantially, but not having so much that you live in luxury, and being able with that money to provide for the poor and the needy by employing them, by giving what you have.
Everybody knows humility is a virtue. If you ask, should you be humble? Is it a good thing to be humble? Everybody will tell you it's the right thing, it's a good thing. Everybody should be humble, but not for me. Why not for you? You know, don't you want to be virtuous? Don't you want good stuff? Don't you want to do the right thing? Yeah? Yeah, but humility has a bad PR. It has a bad impression. When I ask people, tell me, most humble man in this world would walk through the door. What would you expect to see?
Probably be wearing something one color, like black looking, not very exciting.
Just a meek individual.
They'd have wrinkles.
They say, well, a meek guy who said, pardon me, am I interrupting? I really don't want to impose. We don't want to be that guy. So, in reality, the Torah teaches us who was the most humble man in the world. That was Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses. Now, if Moses would walk through the door, what would you expect to see? The man who came to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, or, yeah, the man who split the Red Sea, the man who guided us through the desert for 40 years. What would you expect to see? Everybody knows charisma. Charisma.
He'd be wearing a shawl, he'd have long curly hair, he'd have a beard, and he'd be dark skinned, and he'd probably have chapped lips.
He would have wrinkles and soft eyes.
Kind of short, long white beard, cane, robe, sandals.
Moses is very tall.
I think he would look like a shepherd.
We have a big, long, white beard and a huge staff, and about a couple million people behind him.
It's charisma, it's leadership, it's power. So what is humility? What is humility? We much more easily understand arrogance than humility. It's the opposite. But everybody understands arrogance. Arrogance says, me, I'm everything. I know everything. and I'm all that counts. Yeah. So bend over so I can step on your head because I got to reach for a book. That's an arrogant man, and boy, I don't like him. Yeah. So what's humility? Humility is I don't count. I don't know everything. I don't know much. I know very little. Well, then, what's the virtue? Yeah, you don't count. You don't. What counts is what's right. What counts is you. What counts is truth. What counts is good. Now, that is charismatic. We want to follow a man who we know is not going to be intimidated, is 100% for reality, for truth, can't be bought, can't be seduced. That's the leader. So if you're going for the presidential elections in the United States, you know, the guy Bush stands up and he says, please vote for me. I need re-election. Why? I love Air Force One. And I need the money, I need the income. And then when I retire, there's a nice retirement plan. And my kids like the hail to the chief. So please give me your vote. We say, wow, that's refreshingly honest. This guy's refreshingly honest. He's not going to get many votes. We want the guy to say, I give my life for the American people. I want to finish the job that I started. Bring all that I care about. Give me your vote so that I can work for you. Yeah. Whether we believe him or not, but that's what we want to hear. So when you're talking to someone, you want to hear that he's interested in you, that he's interested in your benefit, that he wants to be helpful, that he wants to understand you, he wants to do the right thing. And that's what humility does. It gives you the power to be meaningful. So humility happens to be a very powerful tool for living because you're looking objectively and you're not afraid. You can't be bored. You're on the job. You're objective. And you're using all your powers for a higher purpose. So it's very powerful. It has bad PR, public relations image, but it's worth working for because it unleashes all that is good within you.
The most humble person I've ever met, without a doubt, has to be my older brother, Josh. He'll just do anything for anybody.
The most humble person I ever met is my mother. She's an amazing person.
My grandmother was the most humble person that I knew.
The most humble person I've ever met is my father.
My rabbi is the humblest person I've ever met.
My father's a very humble person. He really is.
Maybe I hang out with the wrong crowd. I don't know too many humble people.
If you have any questions or any comments, anything at all, we're interested. Please call.